Impact lecture session sponsored by AICTE, MHRD, IAC Council. I plan to introduce our chief guest, resource person, Dr. Aarthi Ram, industrial biotechnologist by education with PhD in pharmacognosy from Bharat University. And she has 6 years of experience in industrial research along with administrative exposure running a chemical company, Kaizen Galvatech Private Limited. Successfully, she has set up 3 incubation innovation centers in different capacities, including the AIC Anna University Incubation Foundation, and 500 plus hours of startup mentoring, 50 plus startup mentored, co-founder and advisor in 2 startup companies, expertise in recyclable products and assistive technologies. And then certified innovation and incubation professional recognized by Atal Innovation Mission, AIM, Prime, IIT Madras, CISE, and Wadhwani Foundation for Entrepreneurship. We welcome you, ma'am. You can proceed with the presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the welcome. Let me share my screen. Please confirm if I'm audible enough. Am I audible enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So once again, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to the principal who had referred me for this impact series, and it is again a joyous moment to be here in my alma mater college where I started my career as an academician and researcher. So there has been enough of introduction already given to me, so I would like to straight away go into the impact series today, and happy to be presenting before young minds once again. So let me come to the basics and would like to understand, because I understand you people are from the first years, I would like to understand why are you actually here, and why are you actually learning something, or why studying, why getting a degree? Have you ever asked, why are you actually either forced or compelled, or even if you are happy about it, why are you even doing it? What is your purpose? Ashok sir, is there a means by which they can answer and I get to know? Can there be some students answering it? I would be really happy if that could be an interactive session.
Interaction is quite difficult in this presentation, ma'am.
Can there be at least 1 or 2 students with you who can?
We can proceed, ma'am. If they have doubts, I will note to you. We can discuss in the end session, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Kindly adjust, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
So have you ever bothered, have you ever bothered to understand, why are we actually doing this, and studying so many books, which sometimes is so boring, sometimes is so tedious, sometimes it is so much more compelling and demanding to do, and why particularly engineering, which is a lot more tougher in the to understand, or a lot of concepts, more strenuous, more demanding, and maybe you want to do this because you want to do it for the a better job. You want to settle down with a good paying job. You want to come up with really double package salary, double numbers. Want to get a good partner, spouses, good name, good society, impact, and so on. And some would have actually chosen the degree, chosen this particular engineering course out of passion to what they are learning. And there are some who are unaware of what you are doing and still inside the herd of joining into this big bandwagon of engineers. But if I had to tell you that there is, you would have already learned and already, heard so much about engineers. It's been said that we are almost making 30% of the world's engineering population, the STEM population. And our numbers, though it is 30% of the overall crowd or overall population of India, we form the 30% of the world's population, with amounting to somewhere around 26 lakhs every year. That is a turnaround of engineer. And just talking about statistics, every 35% of Indian population turns into engineers, and the number is even higher, becoming 75% of South Indians becoming engineers, ending up becoming engineers. That is the data and that is the statistics. But one more shocking news is that 28% of all the engineers who are out of the graduation get employed. There is only a very few who become somebody like this, somebody like the CEOs of the top companies. And it is somewhere, irony to really know that the top companies of the globe, whether be the Google or the Microsoft or the Pepsi, all the companies, the Coca-Colas, all these companies have Indian CXOs, Chief Operating Officers, Chief Executive Officers. And Indian engineers make the topmost talents of the world. According to statistics, it is said that around 30% of Fortune 500 companies are the leadership roles are occupied by Indians, and that is the talent resource that we are giving to the world. But what are we doing to India? And when that is in a situation where there is unemployment really talked about, still starting from early 1960s till date, unemployment is a huge problem in the country. And then there is poverty, war situations, and natural calamities taking over the world. We are in a situation where we have to really look into what is required of us, what is required of each and every person, and what we should be actually doing it. And you might be also shocked to see that if I say that the world actually needs people like you. India has always been known of coming up with different solutions, varied, weird solutions at every situation. When the world sees problems, whether be it the natural calamity of floods, the floods of the Barda, or the floods of the Chennai floods, the Kerala floods, or the Orissa floods that happen every year, or be it the hurricanes, be it the earthquakes of Bhuj and Nepal, or be it the diseases that we are going through in recent times. India has come up with its own solutions, and it is pretty known for all its jugads. But what is lacking among all this, the jugads, or what is lacking among all these innovations is the scientific approach and marketability of these products or these innovations into the market, and being capable of making a social impact. Based on our data, it is said that the Indian innovations, or India is actually ranked the lowest among the, while we are ranked at least the third largest economy, but in case of innovations and in case of filing patents, filing our innovations, we are somewhere far behind even the Singapore and those much smaller countries. So there is a good rise in the number of patents being applied and granted in India. The numbers are still lagging behind, and we have to really focus on the research and commercializable products out of what we learn. So all of this would have probably made you think that should I become a scientist? Should I actually pursue research? and should I actually learn what is more important, learn BME, pursue a PhD, and then go on to grab those hefty classes and become a researcher? I would say no. Innovation, as per term, it goes. It is defined in different terms. It is defined, at least 50 definitions are there for the term innovations, and often it is confused between creativity or invention, discovery or innovations. I would like to put it very simple, saying that any innovation that happen, any innovation when is actually put into practice, great use, then it becomes an innovation. That is, for example, if there was a simple wheel is an invention, if you might know, if you are thinking about what these pictures are and what they represent. A wheel is a representation of man's first greatest invention, which has revolutionized the world. And secondly, it was the discovery of fire. And I say it is a discovery because that existed in nature. There were firestorms, there were volcanoes, there were so many other forms of fire available in the nature, but man practiced and found a way to bring upon the fire and had a control over the discovery. And then when they were together, put into practice with a little amount of creativity and made what is called the steam engine. Now we are paving way for the hyperloop technologies or the metro train technologies. We have the advanced technologies available now, and going back to the history, these inventions and discoveries were the basis for all the innovations that had happened. So once again, I'm emphasizing you need not actually go into the labs and keep on doing much of research, and it is absolutely not necessary to be a scientist to come up with innovations. All it needs is to solve the problems that is around you with a simple technology and look at things in a different perspective. Where do India stands in the scenario of global startup ecosystem or innovation ecosystem? India is actually told the third largest startup ecosystem, and it is still emerging. But if you can see, the gap between USA and China as the top unicorns or top companies arising from those countries are far more, at least 10x, 20x, 50x more than what is India able to do. But with the population of India, we should be actually leading the country with all the innovations. But that is not in the numbers, or that is not what you see here. And to also say that we have around 45,000 startups to claim, becoming the third largest. Let me also say that we have equal number of problems to solve and equal number of opportunities to address as well. And when it comes to India, the largest leaders or the leaders of the startup ecosystem where the innovations are happening, or at least by the data that you can see, Maharashtra, Odisha and Bihar are leading the country with their perfect ecosystem and for startups and innovations to take ahead and become what is called as the startup. They make the country lead in that way. But where is Tamil Nadu? Tamil Nadu actually claiming for Tamil Nadu is the most industrialized sector, most industrialized state of India. It is the second largest contributor to the Indian GDP, economic GDP, and it has the most number of people going for the third degree of higher education, and it also has the most number of incubators, and also the most number of engineering higher education colleges, institutions, and all the ecosystem that is required for innovations to happen. But shockingly, Tamil Nadu is actually ranked the emerging startup ecosystem, and it is yet to be there as the leader. But I'm pretty sure that it will not take much of time for Tamil Nadu to become a leader with all the amenities already available. But why are we actually talking about starting up, and why it is important to become a startup, or even start a company or become an entrepreneur, when you can easily graduate, get settled down in a company, become an employee, go pursue a 9 to 5 job, and probably get a salary of a good number of package, at least not in the beginning, but later on in your life you can get a good number of salary. But let me tell you, that is not happening, and that is not happening in the recent past. And it is proven by all the employment of engineers happening. It is seen that India requires more number of job makers than job seekers. We lack and we need more number of employers than employees, and hence it is required for every engineer, particularly engineer, to look into the problem around you and start solving it and make your company of your own. And as startups, what you probably can do is you can make an impact, and these numbers prove that the number of employment created by a startup is more than what it is created by corporates put together. The leading corporates like Wipro, Infosys, and the Cognizance actually had a footfall, and they stopped hiring in the recent COVID times. But the startups were the only reason why India could shoot back with vigor and got its GDP back. Talking about economy, startups also become the greatest contributor to in the Indian GDP, with micro entrepreneurs coming up. And every when I tell you the jargon micro entrepreneurship, it is simply the your vendor nearby. For example, either it could be the shop owner, shopkeepers in your nearby places, the fruit vendors, sellers. All these people are micro entrepreneurs. But the only difference between the business people and businessman and entrepreneur is innovation. And every business, to sustain itself, needs innovation to happen in its ecosystem. So employment is one, and then the major contributor of economy is another. The third thing is they are also the major contribution making to the society. How many of you actually remember the OYO, the OYOs or the Swiggies, the Dunzo, White Hat Juniors? All these are startups. The Byju's, all these are startups that is making huge impact on your life. Swiggy has become a common word. Ola has become a common word. OYO is something that you immediately go, make my trip. All these things are startups. All these companies started off in the early 2018s, and now they are unicorns. And India is proud to have 100 unicorns. And all of this actually happened through various schemes of central government, like the Make in India, the Skill India, the Startup India. So n number of schemes are there to help startups. I'm not going to go into the details of what these schemes are. I can very well share where you should probably look in. Just type these words into the Google, and you will be exposed to a whole lot of new avenues which you can use to get funding, get people, and get started with your innovation. So the scenario is just perfect, and Tamil Nadu especially is actually helping it further with its startup T, and coming up with a lot of grants for the to help the innovations. and not to have left EDIA, the Entrepreneurship Development Institute Innovation, that is there in Gindi, actually gives away 2 lakhs of rupees just with the with your idea. If your idea is getting selected, and if the forum feels that it is awesome and it is readily useful for the market, then it is readily giving you 2 lakhs of rupees as grant to make it converted into a prototype. While the last quarter or the previous budget, we saw that India had allocated around 1,330 crores of rupees for funds for startups, which is almost 2% of the overall budget of India, and it is gruesome sum to start with, and we are happy about having 1,000+ crores allotted for startups alone. And this quarter we have 283.5 crores allotted for this quarter alone for funds, and Tamil Nadu especially is coming up with 75 crores of startup funds to set up localized district-wise innovation hubs. And very happy to say that our institution, MCCMRF Innovation Park, is also one partner of such startup tea and hub, where we nurture innovations, and will be happy to help any of your ideas. What is India projecting, or what is India actually looking ahead with all the schemes, and what is India actually looking forward to make, is that this current scenario has more than 100,000 startups in the ecosystem, and we have a unicorn of 100 already. India recently touched 100 unicorns, with Byju's and Zaitu actually coming up as the 100th unicorn. So we are proposing that we will be there in 2025. And while India has spoke that we will have a 1 trillion being made, wealth creation will be made by the startup ecosystem alone, Tamil Nadu will happily targeting at 1 trillion from Tamil Nadu alone, and which I think is really feasible, which is completely doable. Well, all that is said, and the all the scenario, all the system seems to be really awesome to start, awesome to make all the to begin with. I should also warn you that 90% of startups fail in the first 5 years. Well, there could be a number of reasons why they fail. There are 3 important things that is actually told as the most important reasons behind a success or a failure of a startup, and that is the right people to help at the right timing and right place to begin with, and thirdly also the right amount of funding reaching them at the right time. And happily, and also very glad to inform that this also could be provided, and the scenario is just perfect to get all the right place, the right people, and the right minds time together with all the schemes, government schemes available for you to nourish. Okay, having said all of this, can you actually become the next Ritesh Agarwal? Can you actually become the youngest Parag Agarwal, or become the youngest entrepreneur of the country? Can you actually become jump into entrepreneurship? And why do you have to wait for completing your degree when you can immediately become what you call become a Sri Lakshmi or Sanjay and start your own business at this age? I would say, why not? You should probably try it out, but be careful. Be careful, because starting up is not a day job, is not a 9-to-5 job at all. It requires your complete commitment, passion, and the rigor to make it successful, to solve a problem that you have taken. And of course, what you will see as a result is awesome. Who knows, tomorrow you can own a Mercedes, but you can make 100 lives, 1,000 lives, impact 1,000 lives in your career. And that can all happen when you just don't work in a company for 9 to 5, but you can give jobs to so many. And even if you fail, let me also warn you, there will be failures. And even if you fail, the good thing is that companies are recruiting and companies are looking forward to hiring innovative thinkers. As I told you in the beginning of the presentation, companies are no longer looking for followers. They are looking for leaders. They are looking for people who are thinking, who will be able to make change in the company, and they are open to it. So even if you fall back and you fail in your startup, which is going to give you the immense experience to start afresh and make you what you called an entrepreneur with true sense, and make you more successful in that sense. And I would urge all of you to immediately start thinking around you. Look around what is there in your vicinity. Look around the problems that is there. Start innovating. Start solving those problems. And use your laboratories, use your guidance and mentors available in your college, your peers, your seniors, your friends. And the world has become smaller day to day with all the technology available to you for free. Now you don't need what is called a developer from Wipro or TCS to help you code, to help you build your own mobile application. It is there in Builder AI. Now you don't need actually someone to design your websites. You can do it on GoDaddy. Start doing it. Make your own things and enjoy, creating the world you want to make and start impacting so many lives. With that, I would like to conclude my presentation on the Indian scenario. So I'm open for questions. I would like to keep the session open for any questions that is to come. Ashok sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Ashok sir, I would actually want students to ask questions.
Your voice is very low, ma'am.
Ashok sir, I would actually want to interact with students and get questions from them, and then probably I can answer their questions.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we are screening through my phone only. They can able to ask questions. That's one only.
I think that should be okay. Ask, if they have any questions, you can translate to me. I will be happy to answer.
Okay, ma'am. If they ask, I will note at the end of the session. I will text you or I will say, ma'am, or else I will mail you. After that, I will convey. If you want, you can proceed with the presentation.
Okay. I would want to actually, give the presentation. I mean, I want them to ask, how to go about it.
They are in first year, ma'am. From first year, how they can start their projects, and from then innovation like that you can present.
Okay. So if you are from the first year, okay.
Yes.
As I was telling, in the presentation, it is not necessary that we wait for, for graduation also. All the knowledge that you want to have is available in the, already available in Google, already available in various websites and schemes. So probably if you were innovating, if you were, want to solve any issues, want to solve any problems, the first thing probably you should do is get onto the website Smart India Hackathon. I will share my screen and show you what is available for young entrepreneurs, and probably they can take over from there. So to get awareness on what are the different problems that is available in the country, or if you want to know what is how to begin with innovating, please log on to Smart India Hackathon, which is there to encourage innovations among hello. Hello, Ashok sir, can you hear me? Okay, okay. Sorry for the technical disturbance. I just my laptop just crashed. Okay. Yes. So I was saying that, to begin with, I would recommend all the students to look into the problem statements that is available with the Smart India Hackathon. And every time it so happens in colleges that, the Smart India is announced, the challenges are announced every year through IAC, and there is a deadline mentioned, and every student actually comes up with a idea at the last moment, at the last 1 week or so, when there is only available just for writing an abstract. Instead, if you can train, and if you can start looking into the different problem statements, these problem statements come across from different ministries of India. Smart India initiatives have come from different ministries of India, starting from defense, the health, the finances, the Ministry of Education, and there are so many other categories, agri-tech, and so many other categories where computer science technology, or assistive technologies are very much required. So you can look into the various problem statements. There are at least 1 lakh problem statements available. If you can see in each of these, this much problem statements are available. You can look into the problem statements, choose your own problem statement if you want to work on, and then make accordingly. You can start writing down, discuss with your mentors, with your faculty, about how to come up with a solution. You can see these, these are so many problem statements available. And similarly in Agni, so So again, Agni is a defense corridor, DRDO powered innovation center. So there again, we have so many different problem statements mentioned. So there is an direct contact, direct ability portal for you to get into all the different kind of problem statements that you can see, and also the latest technologies that you can probably put forth and tell to the government that it is what you are applying for. See, if you can see, online applications are there, then the assessments and showcase of innovations happen. All these innovations come on board and they are put on the portal. So you can get onto such kind of websites. There are so many other challenges, and I will be also happy to tell you that NCC MRF Innovation Park also has such kind of challenges to explore also, where you can see. And one other thing that you can probably do is, once you get into Smart India Hackathon, you can come to what is called as the fabrication labs. Make use of all the fab labs around the country. Make use of these makers lab, and you can come to our fabrication lab also, and you can make use of all the facilities and start making a prototype, POC, product proof of concept, and then apply for such kind of hackathons. The second thing, once you have done all this and you have got a validation that your problem is right and your solution is also right, I would urge you to go for different kind of surveys. Validate your idea among the peers. Go to different people and do surveys. Find out whether what is the solution that you are talking is important, and find out if it is useful for them. The one other place probably where you can apply for funding and grants is the entrepreneurship development cell of innovation sector, where they have two schemes, the IVP-A and IVP-B scheme, and yes, the innovation voucher programs. The innovation voucher programs again has two schemes, IVP-A and B. IVP-A gives you 2 lakhs straight away to start your grants, and there is TNSI challenge which gives 50,000 straight away. Tamil Nadu Student Innovators Program, which gives you mentorship and also all the support required, and gives you 50,000 prize money to begin start working on your innovation. And if you have something called as you want to launch your enterprise, you want to immediately register your company, there again is the start your own business opportunity, where they also give you all the market accessibility to government. So these portals are very important. And one more link probably you should know before you start innovating is Startup India. Again, there are n number of challenges and also schemes in different sectors. If you are part of computer science, or if you are into AI and robotics or mechatronics or civil engineering, then you can also look into what is called as the circular economy, where the world is actually wanting to make impact in making sustainable solutions for all sorts of things. One probable area or one trending area is, of course, the AI ML, with all things turning artificial intelligence and virtual reality, deep learning. These are something that the startup world is actively looking on. The technology is really there. The second part is actually the sustainability part, where you can think about recyclable materials, alternative materials, edible packaging systems, or coming up with alternate construction materials, bricks made out of plastics. We have a startup actually which is working on recycled bricks made out of complete waste plastics, second-hand plastics. We have furnitures made up of different waste materials. So recycled products are one area. The other area is actually looking for processes, whether aggregator platforms and fintech platforms, where the world is going really into stock exchange, cryptocurrency, digital currencies. Fintech is also really taking up, and there is a huge awareness and requirement in that sector as well. So if you are there, yes. So if you want any kind of guidance, or if you want to know more about how to actually become an entrepreneur, how to start your own business or start something unique, you want to test your product, you can always write to us. This is our website, www.mccmrfinnovationpark.com. We are the largest among arts and science ecosystem, helping startups and innovations in the sustainable development and climate action focus. And yes, so these are few startups of our startups. I think I'm over to the questions. I would like more interactions, and accordingly I want to see what is required of me.
I'm actually student eagerly in need of some guidance only. So because they are in first year, if in coming
yes,
semester,
like
second.
Yes,
second
sir, I understand.
Yes,
is there any particular question that they want
no,
to?
No, there is no particular question, ma'am. They're just asking as a whole only. Maybe in future they will be asking. I'll email you, ma'am. Right now they are asking only for guidance about if they find any difficulties with whether they will help you, like that only they are asking.
Sir, if you can ask them whether they have understood or what they want to particularly know about it, then I can accordingly answer, because I'm completely unaware.
Funding பத்தி இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் ஒரு 5 to 10 minutes டீடைலா சொல்ல முடியுமா? சிம்பிளிஃபைடா. I think already நீங்க சொல்லிட்டீங்க. Maybe still in a simple manner or 5 minutes.
Okay. So about funding, the first thing is I want to tell you that funding from your pocket, நீங்க ஏதாவது ஒன்று யோசிக்கிறீங்க, or if you are actually innovating, the first thing probably you should do is get onto your faculty, because you are all students. I'm just saying, go discuss with your faculties, go discuss with your peer students, utilize all the resources that is available in the college first. Go to your lab, go to all the open resources. The Builder AI is there. I would like to show you some of the open sources that you can probably use to start with. I'm sharing my screen. Yes. So you can get onto different platforms like Builder AI, or you can get onto AWS is there. Amazon again gives you immense number of services where you can work on their learn their coding, hosting, and start doing your application, mobile application. You can develop it. So for all of this, usually students, what they think is, the first thing is, I need technology. How do I begin without knowing or because without even knowing that how do I actually make these things. For example, if I am coming up with a mobile application or a presentation, where do I start with is something that every student asks. So first and foremost will be to build your team, find out who is good at it, form a team that can work along. Secondly, start utilizing the resources in your vicinity. Start with your own college. They say in the community that funding starts with you. Okay, so the first person to actually put in money will be you. You have to put your first penny into it. Either it could be your effort, or it could be your pocket money, it could be your savings, earnings from different mediums. So you should be the first person to put money into your ideas to make it worthy. The second person will be, of course, your friends and family. And then you get on to the immediate circle, which is the next circle of fools. We call it as friends, family, and fools. So the next circle will be obviously the people you know in college, or people you know among your immediate family or friends of friends. Start pitching. Tell them that this is what you're trying to do, and this is the amount that I require. Not even amount. You can say that the help and guidance that you require. So you can start developing that to develop proof of concept. And again, as I told you, if you require any kind of, starting from 3D printers or laser cutting machines or mechanical lab, there are so many fabrication labs around you. MCC is near you, SRM is near you, Crescent is near you, and all these places have fabrication labs where you can go and utilize these laboratories to make a proof of concept. Proof of concept in the sense, for example, if I'm going to tell you that I have an idea of flying paper planes. If I'm telling you that paper can fly, okay, I can make different prototypes of it, right? A paper can be made into just a ball of crushed into a ball and just told that I'm going to fly this. Or you can probably tell instead of crushing it together, I'm just going to fly it like this, throw it away, and it can also fly. But if I'm going to make it into a technology, and then crushing it and making into a plane, then that again uses some kind of skill and technology. So there are different ways of doing what you are proposing to do. So you have to be the first person to show that this is what I'm saying, this is what I'm proposing, and I can probably come up with a paper plane that flies so much, and then I'm going to fly this. Okay, so for this is called POC. I told just in words that I'm going to fly a paper plane. So that was just a statement. This is a proof of concept. So for asking for funding or for getting your idea into the market, a proof of concept is mandatory. And for making such a proof of concept, you need not actually spend a lot of money. There are fabrication labs which can help you with all the assistance and guidance needed for for the technology part, and also the equipment, machineries, and things like that. And as I told you, EDI funding, the IVPA funding, 2 lakhs of grant is given upon selection if you have a brilliant idea to take over. So 2 lakh without TDS, so 1.96 lakhs is given for every innovator to make your idea into proof of concept. And EDI again has TNS iSmart Tamil Nadu Student Innovator Challenge that happens every year, where you can get again 50,000 of funding. Other than these, there is also different funding opportunities, different challenges, competitions where they give money to develop proof of concept. So once you have developed a proof of concept, and once you have told that this is what I'm probably trying to build, I am trying to build a paper plane. But can I sell this? Will you be interested to buy this? will you be happy to actually, get this, going? If I say that this costs 50 rupees, will you be happy to get this? I don't think so. So to make this something called as the minimum viable product, you have to make this into a fancy product and probably, make it more nice, more scientific. And if you promise that this will fly 2 kilometers, it has to fly 2 kilometers. So for that, you require all the technology to be put into this paper plane. So for all of this development, there are, again, you can get incubated. Either you can get incubated with an incubator like ours, where we will be providing with all the support that is needed, starting from, giving you the right mentors and technical resource people and business people to help you, what you should be doing, and also the funding assistance to take from POC stage to MLP stage with all the manufacturing units also. So once you have such kind of product with you, the next thing probably is to actually make 100 units of it and get onto the market. So that too is available. That too is funded by the government with Make in India and the MSME grant challenges, where they give them starting from 10 lakhs to somewhere around 50 lakhs and 1 crore. So funding is available for making units up to 1 crore for each startup. So it is, I won't be able to cover all the funding opportunities, all the schemes that is available with government in one session, in 1 hour at all. And it will go over the top, it will go actually over your mind if I tell you all the schemes that is available. To put it very simplified, if you have an idea, talk to your students, talk to your faculty, talk to your friends, come up with a POC using the laboratory in your college itself, or find out the fabrication labs or makers lab around you, go to them and start making your proof of concept. Then you can always launch it in the market, start selling it off, become a company and fly off. Hope that answered your question, sir. Anything else that I would be helpful?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I think if there is no question means I assume that they are very clear in that subject. So with this, we can close this session, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Happy to help. So I just wanted to, add on 2 more things. The first, I had done that in my presentation as well. So I had the operations of Madras Christian College Innovation Park, the largest among arts and science college. So we have a fabrication and design studio and also a talent resource which can help any idea fly into the proof of concepts and make it more into a startup. So we will be happy to hear more from the engineers here and know that if there is any help that we could provide in making it to the market, we'll be really happy to work along with GKM and the first years in finding, scouting, training, and empowering the student innovators. All the best to all the innovators, student innovators here. Hopeful to see a lot of you turn entrepreneurs and making social impacts. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, ma'am. I thank our chief guest or resource person. We are really enlightened with your knowledge. We all gain the basic knowledge in various topics with respect to innovation, startup, and funds. And we are thankful to MHRD, IIC, and GK management, principal and faculty, and students for their enthusiastic support. Thank you once again, ma'am. With this, we have planned to close this session, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, I would just want one photograph for my memory. Yes, we can take a screenshot.
Ma'am, I think it was in screenshot. Yes, ma'am, I will try. 1 minute, ma'am.
I'm happy to meet the HOD of MBA. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I took screenshot in that manner only. Ma'am, I'll send you.
Thank you. Thank you. I took it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.